Good evening. My name is Tom Lacey, and I'm going to do a quick explainer video on the advantages and disadvantages of the online learning environment. Both these environments have similarities. One of the things is they have the same types of assignments. As an instructor, you can assign essays, worksheets, whatever you're going to assign students in a traditional learning classroom, you can assign in an online classroom. Another similarity is the same types of materials. It doesn't matter whether you're using textbooks, websites, or whatever kind of materials, those students in the online classroom can use the same materials as a traditional classroom. There are several differences. Obviously, one is the lack of the regular teacher interaction for an online student. An online student doesn't see their teacher every day. For example, me, I don't even know what you look like, Dr. Grant, or I couldn't even pick you out in the crowd, and this is the first time you're seeing my face, unless like I Facebook stalk you, and that would just be weird. So we don't have that regular interaction. Another thing is that a traditional classroom is more structured than an online classroom. You go in, you have your seats, you have the professor or the teacher in front, and you conduct class, whereas in an online environment, you're doing it at your house and you're not meeting any of your teacher, your professor, or any of your compatriots. As you can see, I'm doing this video in my home. The traditional learning model has several advantages. Number one is interactive. You get that interaction. You can see the things from people's perspectives, and you get to interact and have that human interaction in the classroom, which can sometimes lead to different things that you didn't plan for, spontaneous interactions in the classroom that can be very valuable. Another thing is that the traditional learning classroom and learning environment is accessible. Not everybody has a strong internet connection or has the technology available to them to be successful online. Some of the disadvantages of a traditional learning model is that there's a lack of student-focused learning. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all approach. Even though in a high school or a public school type setting you have IEPs, students really don't get the tailor-made instruction. It's always usually one-size-fits-all. Also, another disadvantage is a lack of process-oriented learning. For example, and I keep saying that a lot, there's a big focus on just passing the test. It's not really, if you hold on to the information, just hold on to that information enough till you pass the test and get your grade. The online learning environment, one of the advantages is that the online school offers flexibility. You can do it in your own home. You can do it at any time. Like here it is, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm shooting this video. Not really, it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, but you get the idea. Process-based learning also allows for a more individual approach to learning. You don't get that in a traditional learning environment. Some of the disadvantages is that you lose out on face-to-face interaction and networking opportunities. You don't get to see your peers, you don't get to develop relationships. I don't know who my classmates are. I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. I'm in a traditional school. I could make relationships, make networking, maybe get a better job, and you lose those opportunities. Also, many online classes require more work and student interaction than a traditional class. For example, we have to be on a forum. I have to do assignments. At the same time, my schoolwork. If it was a traditional class, I wouldn't have to participate so much. Okay. Adult learning theories apply to each model because number one, students need to be motivated, and to learn to succeed, you need to have intrinsic motivation. Students need to know why they are learning and how they're going to apply that material to their lives. If they can't apply that material to their lives or don't know why they're learning something, they just don't care. Students need to research the material on their own and draw their own conclusions, whether you're in a traditional learning environment or an online learning environment. That is important. If I was going to present materials, for example, what I'm doing in my world history class is Rome. Number one, in a traditional thing, I would introduce a topic, have a class discussion or a lecture, After the lecture, check for understanding, and then assign my students an essay. In an online classroom, I'd introduce the topic. I would then introduce the materials, discuss on the student forum, and then have students write on what they have learned and why it happened. And that concludes my video.